let's make some breakfast this morning. I'm going to make a tater tot breakfast casserole. I'm trying to find some recipes this week to use ingredients that people might already have in their house so they don't have to go out and about, and you can use up the food that you carefully stocked up over the last couple weeks. So maybe you have some of these ingredients, maybe you don't. I'll show you some things that you can substitute if you don't. This recipe that I'm going to show you is made for about 4 servings. I wanted to make a smaller dish today because it's only 2 of us here, but it's okay to have little leftovers. I just don't want to have a large 9x13 pan of breakfast. So if you want a larger pan for your family or your gathering, then please double the recipe. I'm going to use a 7x10 glass Pyrex dish to build this. First I'm going to spray it with a little pan. Alright, now if you're making a large dish, I would use a dozen eggs, large eggs, and I have here a dozen eggs, but I'm going to use 6. Usually I use jumbo eggs. This is all I could get in the store right now, so I'm going to use 6 large eggs. Crack them in a mixing bowl. One, 2, 3, 4. Alright, there's 6. Let's just whisk them up a little bit. To that I'm going to add a half a cup of shredded cheese, and I have a Mexican blend here. Use whatever you have in your refrigerator. You can use Swiss, you can use some of that any kind of Italian blends, or you can even use some pepper jack. Whatever's in your refrigerator, that's what I mean. Don't worry about the recipe that much when we don't have that much chance to go shopping. This will be a Mexican blend for me. Several different kinds of cheese shredded up. Alright, we're going to put about a 1/4 cup of milk in here. A little bit more is okay. And then I'm going to use some turkey breakfast sausages that are already fully cooked. So if you have little links, if you have bacon already cooked, you can put any kind of breakfast meat in if you want breakfast meat. You could also feel free to add some vegetables if you think that's what you'd rather have. Perhaps you would rather have some peppers and onions. Build this recipe dependent on what you like and what you have in your house. Now I'm not going to brown these, I'm going to cut them up and put them in. And if I were making a full batch, a 9x13 pan, I would use all of the 8. Right now I'm going to use 4 of the 8. Now I'm just going to cut these up. They're a little frozen yet, but I'm just going to cut them up in little tiny pieces so they get mixed throughout the egg mixture. If you were making a large batch, you could use a 32-ounce bag and line your pan with these tater tots. However, since we're only making a smaller pan today, after you've sprayed your pan, you can put about half of the bag in here. Alright, now the rest is so easy. We're going to take the mixture and whisk it up real good. The cheese, the egg, the milk. Alright, let's take the sausage now, or whatever meat you choose to use. You could even cut up some Spam or some leftover meat that you have, some sausages, anything to take advantage of the food you've been cooking this week. Alright, spread out pretty nicely, and now we're going to pour the egg mixture over top. We're just going to adjust so that the sausage gets down under the egg mixture. Try to leave the tater tots on the bottom. A little bit of that Monterey Jack cheese that I was using, and spread this across the top. And then I'm going to add a little pepper. And I like seeing the freshly ground pepper on the top when it starts to melt. Okay, we're going to bake this at 350 degrees for 40 minutes. And then we'll check on it. We want to make sure that the egg is set before we take it out of the oven. So sometimes it varies a little because some eggs are bigger than others in the recipe. So all we want to do is bake it until it's completely set and take it out. Let it sit for 10 minutes and then we'll cut it up into pieces. I'm using my Casserole toaster oven for this, and this is also an air fryer oven, but we're just going to use it on the bake mode right now. 350 degrees. We'll be back to check it in 40 minutes and test to see if it's done. Alright, here we go. Now this is a nicely round egg mixture. If we take a knife and insert it in the middle, the eggs are completely cooked. So that is a nice casserole to serve for breakfast. As we said, this can be altered to go with any of the things that you have in your kitchen. So if you don't have tater tots to put in the bottom, maybe you have a bag of hash browns or some other potatoes that you could use. So let's let this rest for about 10 minutes and then we're going to cut it open and I'll show you the inside. Alright, I'm going to cut this in squares. You could also scoop it out with a spoon, you know, but we're going to try this. I'm really happy with how the top got so nice and brown. Really looks great. Pretty easy to get out of the glass dish. Oh, look at that. It looks like a hash brown with eggs. Notice how the hash browns kind of came to the top a little bit there. That looks delicious. The person who bakes this for whoever's in the household does have to get up a little bit earlier, but it's worth it. Before you leave, I have to taste it. Look how cheesy. Looks nice. Okay, that's really good. I think you'll like this recipe. Okay, go wake them up. Thanks for watching.